Hi guys. All right, we just almost had a bear escape.
It's a good entrance exit.
Oh,
Oh.
I was so afraid he's gonna go out.
Yeah.
Bear, if you have a dog that's a Yorkie or a Shih Tzu, they don't listen very much in terms of, and I don't know where they're going.
They're
The
always
door
escaping.
opens
They're
and
always
he
escaping.
just bolts. And I'm like,
Where's he going?
Where are you going? Like, there's wolves out here. There's no food.
Is life so bad?
You've got like a million couches in there for you. Like all this, like anything he wants, he gets. He's like the prince of the house. Anyways, I don't know why he wants to escape. Seriously.
I know.
He gets cuddles. Like, what more do you want?
He wants to go.
I know. All right. So what am I doing today? Okay. I just want to talk about the Micro Jane and the like amazing thing
That was like your
this is.
Mother's Day bag.
Yes, and I use this bag all the time on the weekends, and it astounds me how much stuff I could get into this bag. I will do a what's in my bag, but honestly, if you ask me like what can you put in here, you can put your phone, your 2 pairs of glasses,
Not your laptop.
keys. No, not your laptop. Maybe like one of those small Kindles.
You could do iPod Mini or you
Yeah.
could do a Kindle.
Like that you can
No
do.
joke, no
yes.
joke, yeah.
And then like you could, and then also just like a scarf, and maybe like a small rolled up cardigan sweater can go in
Yeah,
there.
meanwhile, your mom would fit so much more.
My mom puts like a thermos in there. It's amazing.
I don't know how she does it.
She chose the green one, and I'm in love with the buttercup yellow. I love this. It's so sunny and happy. And then I have the Matt. Look at this bubblegum chain. This thing is so
Our love for this
amazing.
chain continues to grow.
I love this chain so much. It makes me so happy. And I don't know. It's just such a happy, weird looking strap.
It's a
but
unique looking strap.
yeah, and it just like makes any bag just so cool and fun. Okay, so what else am I wearing? I'm wearing a men's jacket. I'm kind of
I like
into
your
men's.
seersucker. It's
Do you
good.
like it?
Yeah.
It's
Is
like a men's seersucker.
Have you had that long or you got that recently?
No, I just found it, and I think it's kind of cool. It's
From
kind
the
of
wardrobe.
yeah, but it's kind of big. What do you
It's
think?
alright.
Is it too big?
Oh,
I
look,
know,
it's got a darker lining too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then just my favorite jeans, and you know what? Loafers all year round.
Legion.
That's my thing. And then I have our, I love wearing our Athena bracelet, and then I have our amazing Enso bracelet. So got lots of things going on. All right, what else is going on today? It's a beautiful sunny day. We are like so like just
Yeah,
blessed with this like
nice.
insane garden we have right now, and we
So
had so much rain this year
Best time of
that
year.
it really is thriving, the garden. It was dry for a while, remember?
Yeah.
There's years when it's super dry, and then there's years when it's just so lush and just wonderful. And it is one of those years where it's just like, oh,
Look, your
amazing.
peony is coming up.
Did we ever get one flower? We
Last year
did,
we had
right?
the first flower ever. This
Yeah.
is the this has got to be in for like 10 years, right?
But Matt, can you pan to that avocado
This
tree
one.
or whatever?
Oh yeah, come and tell the story of the avocado tree.
Okay, so Parker remind me of it, and how long was it ago?
It must have been like when they were in young elementary school.
Yeah, and I think as a
And she's
joke.
graduating this year.
Yes, and as a joke, we're like, we had an avocado seed,
Yeah.
and we're like, what would happen if we put it in the soil?
I think it was they had their school project where you put it with the toothpicks and it
Oh,
sprouts.
sprouted the seed.
And then we're like, we don't want to throw this out.
Yes, and then so you guys just planted
Yeah,
it,
randomly.
and then it never did anything for the longest time, right?
For like 8 years, nothing happened.
Oh my God, can you imagine if we got avocados? That'd be amazing.
Could if we keep this thing alive.
And then I would take the avocados, and I have another trick Mama Chen. That's my mom. Mama Chen's tricks.
Good
so
trick.
Mama Chen had a really great trick about the avocados.
2 tricks lately.
Yeah, the avocados is amazing. Water in the refrigerator. I think I did a segment on that. So Mama Chen has another trick, because she watches all these videos on Instagram, and then
We
I
were
think
skeptical of this one.
she has the time to try them and see if they work first, and then if it does work, she'll tell us. And then sometimes I'm still skeptical, but I will show you. This is Matt. When I tried, I was like, Matt, I'm gonna try it. And
We were
he's
like, sure.
okay, whatever.
Thatcher was talking. He was like, sure.
Okay, but it works. I'll show you in a second. Okay, and then what else is going on? I don't know. What else is
Hummingbird?
going on? Yes.
We have hummingbird wars.
I know, man. They peck at
They're
each
so
other.
territorial.
So sad. But they're just so pretty, and I just want them to get along. Okay, so yesterday we were talking about doing hard things, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, like
Oh wait,
some
did you
people.
talk about your repost?
Oh my God, Jocko reposted me. I'm so
That made
excited.
our day.
Yeah.
It was a hard day, and then you came in. You're like, Jocko reposted. He's like, it's all masculine men doing things, and then me.
I love it.
That's
I love
funny.
it so much. So you know, he was just thinking about, we were talking about doing hard things. And obviously, yes, in order to get better, you have to do hard things. But I think a lot of people are like, well, I want to kind of take it easy and go with the flow, which is also part of like a Buddhist thing, right, Matt? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to fight against it, you don't want to fight the resistance, and sometimes you just want to kind of go with it, and it's easier.
Zone
Like
two.
this concept of slow is fast and fast is smooth. And that's very true. Like, you have to go with it. But
Slow is
I
smooth,
think
smooth is fast.
yeah, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I always, when I'm like when I try to do things in a hurry, or when there's 50,000 things going on at me, I always repeat that in my head, and I just slow everything down. And I think that's when you make better
Remember
decisions.
that happened with Parker when she was uploading her AP art recently, remember?
Yeah.
The whole
and she's
thing
freaking out,
didn't work.
which is true.
and
It was
true,
scary.
the site was not working.
Yeah.
And then the solution was to
Slow it down.
slow it down, and then it worked.
And we were working against a pretty
Clock.
time clock, which is kind of also making it very nerve-wracking. But it all got done, and it only, I think, was done successfully because, well, Matt's the calmest one in the house, so he's always a good example of slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So that's one thing. But then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, yeah, we don't, this concept of doing hard things, you have to do. I think that's part of getting better, is you need to face hard challenges and do them. But I think what's interesting is this idea of why is that, right? So it's what you become by doing that is how you change. Does that make any sense?
How so?
So by the fact that, let's say, you normally could think that you could only run so far, right? So then you're like, okay, I think I could try to run 6 miles today, and it's so hard, and the last half mile is just virtually impossible. You don't want to walk, you just want to stop. But if you just push through it, you become someone who's like, now I'm a 6 mile runner. And you also become much more, I think, stronger in your head, because you're like, wow, I actually could push myself way harder than I could imagine, because I was a 5 mile runner and that was it. So I
Makes
think
sense.
that's what you become. And then as you face harder, so it's like a video game, like it becomes harder and harder, these challenges, but it's interesting because you become tougher and tougher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you become much more adept at whatever you're doing because you're putting more time into it, right?
Yeah.
And then that's what it, so it's like, if you could focus on not the hard thing, because it is hard, but if you focus on what you will become, then I think that kind of pushes you and keeps you moving towards the hard, like moves you through the hard things. Anyways, I'm always thinking about these things when I do my workouts in the morning, and I was like, I don't want to like make people think that they need to do hard things every day, but it's like, why is it that you need to do the hard things? Obviously, to obtain your goal, you need to keep moving forward, but why? Because you become better and what you become, so it's interesting. And then we were watching Hacks yesterday, remember?
So good.
And she said something interesting, right? So this woman was asking that writer when she was up on the stage finally, and she's like, for people who are starting with writing and they feel like they're never getting anywhere, what would you suggest? And at first she gave kind of a
She was like,
silly
keep
answer.
shooting on the goal.
Right. But then she's like, that's a dumb answer. Merch, you don't have to come so close into me. Like,
It's because of all this noise, we can't
okay,
hear you.
but like, please.
They won't be able to hear you.
Okay, I'll talk louder.
Talk
Okay.
louder.
So then but then she thought about it, and she's like, actually, you need to really enjoy that time of like striving towards the bigger goal, because those are good times. They're hard, but they're good times, because by enjoying those times and really like kind of relishing in it, that's how you become better, right? Because if you're just fighting against and you're like, I hate it here, doing this, whatever it is that I have to do, then I don't think you could get it to your next goal. So anyways,
That doesn't mean
it's
wallow
food
in
for
it.
thought.
It
Yeah.
just means look around while you're going through it a
Yeah.
little bit. And she also said, because you can't never go back. I think that's what she said.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you can't. Once you've progressed, you can't go back. And I think that's what's interesting. I mean, you can go back if you decide you're not going to progress anymore. Like,
I mean, I look back at
very
the stuff
easy.
we've gone through, the weird things, all these things we've done, and I'm like, It's not that I want to go back to those days, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done many crazy things. And Matt and I were looking at old photos. We did a stationery show one year where Matt decided he was going to build the entire booth.
I didn't decide. We
we had no choice.
We all looked around and we were like, remember we checked
Yeah.
all the people who build it for you, and it was so expensive.
That's right.
For
That was crazy.
Nothing.
And
Yeah.
then we had to transport that entire booth over to New York from California. It was just like crazy, the logistics of moving that. And then when we got there, we had to then put it together, remember?
Yep.
And then we had to break it down and then wrap it all up and then send it back here. It was
It
crazy.
was a
That was
pretty
a
good
crazy
system, actually. We look back on it. Remember, we made it so that it packed all on one pallet.
Yeah. But
then-
but the process of doing it, there was
That
times
was
when
so
I'm like,
painful.
I don't even know if we could do this. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But then it was done and it was awesome.
If we had continued to do trade shows, it would have been good because we could reuse it.
We could have reused that.
repainted it.
Yeah. So, anyways, see? And then it was just like crazy stuff. You get there and you're like, oh no, we need flooring on the ground. It's just like, okay, let's put flooring together. Remember, we had to get flooring from the hardware store? Just crazy. Anyways,
I'm looking forward at some point to getting all those old photos.
yes, and we'll put them up because they're nuts what we've done in the past. Just things were crazy. Like, just nuts, like totally crazy. And we've got the most insane stories of like things that we've had to do.
Long-time
to get
listeners
things
will
done.
remember how we went to that. You were, because that was in, so
Oh
you
my
must have been
God.
7 months pregnant,
That was awful.
right? And we had a really
Heat of
nice
summer.
booth, right?
Beautiful booth made.
Is that how, did they lose that permanently?
Yeah, I
and then
got
it came back
lost. We
broken?
couldn't find it.
That was that really good candy store thing, right?
Yeah, it was broke. It was awful. Yeah, so we
had this
lost the
great
booth.
booth, and it never showed up.
No,
So then here you are, 7 months pregnant, no booth,
a day before the
a day
stationery show.
before, and we had to like go to Pearl
was so
Art
freaking-
Supply on Canal.
In like 100-degree heat, and we had to walk.
That's when we had
It
to
was
make the
awful.
floor, like you're talking about.
Yeah, like on the floor, and then we had to come up with something, and it was just so bad.
And then all the
It
Javits
was
people
so
were like,
bad.
you're not allowed to have a hammer. Remember?
That's right, and they had to do
They
everything.
do all the work.
Yeah, so
we
we've
did
done
it
our
all
share
without
of
a
trade
hammer.
shows.
Remember?
But I think the best one, honestly, is when we first started. I had this. We had no idea what we were doing, right? And so I was like, we have to get in front of an audience. And we had our e-station. At first, we were selling something that was so out of like what no one could understand at the time. Like we're selling a membership code. Like, so what we basically did was we had e-stationery where it was like luxurious stationery that you could use online to send to your friends. But this is the year 2000. And then we thought, okay, we could also sell this in stores by putting these little boxes together with a username and password. I mean, it makes a lot of sense now, right?
But now I'm thinking, just as you're saying this, I'm like, because we didn't have the luxury at the time. We had to make money, so
Yeah.
that's why we had to charge.
Yeah,
But imagine if we'd done all those marketing efforts and it was free.
I know. Amazing, right?
We would have done really well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then just people would have
Whatever.
had really pretty stationery to
Yeah,
use.
and then what store wouldn't want to have that? And we
Right.
could have just put in all the
Anyway, so we would
That was
give you,
2002.
so we had these beautiful boxes made, and Matt was making fun because we drove by the stationery place where we got the boxes made, and
Yeah.
they're no longer in business, but they made the most beautiful, beautiful
letterpress.
letterpress stationery.
Those were beautiful.
They crafted beautiful things. So we had them craft a beautiful box with a card with a username and password that you can buy at a store, and then you could sign in and have access to the stationery, which we thought like made logical sense. But first of all, no one understood what we were doing
This was
because
before phones,
right.
so people they just
It just was silly.
that
Anyway,
was ahead of its time.
yes. So then I thought we have to get in front of an audience. So maybe, yes, we'll sell them to stores. So some really advanced stores bought them, right?
Yeah.
But then most stores didn't buy them because like you'd have to explain what this is. Like you'd have to have a picture of the computer. Like it was just complicated.
Before iPad.
So then I was like, okay, maybe we go into neighborhoods that we know and there's like flea markets because that's a really cheap way to have a booth
yeah.
and fast. So yeah, we were trying to sell e-stationery, and then I also, because I had to supplement our income, remember, I
made earrings.
handmade earrings and necklaces, and those sold, but
They
not the
did.
e-stationery at a flea market. That was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and the door-to-door putting it in mailboxes. Remember?
Yeah, we tried a lot of stuff. Anyways, we're still trying, but you know, we're older now. It was just really funny. So I guess what this whole story is, and the moral of the story is, have fun along the way, and it is hard.
Yeah, I look back fondly to all those.
Right.
It was hard at the
Right.
time.
But then all these little tiny things add up to what you will become if you just keep at it, you know, and you go through the hard times and you get better and better at what you're doing, more proficient. You've done it so many times so you know when things are not going right and how to fix problems, but it just different problems
Yeah,
along
you know
the
what?
way.
You're right. It's the solving of all those problems along the way
Yeah.
is what lets us get through these day-to-days doing.
Yeah,
this
and then
that.
you become what you become. Like, focus on that. Like, am I becoming a better human? Am I becoming a stronger human? Am I more mentally, you know, like, there's all these things. Like, yes, and if that's a yes, that's awesome. And there's no regrets in that.
Yeah, and I think
you know,
the healthy. We talked about it yesterday, but it really resonates with me. It's not like she's not alone in thinking this, but the Carrie Walsh thing where she's like, "I'm not trying to be better than you."
Yeah.
Or I'm just trying to be a better version of myself
Right
today.
now.
Yeah.
so, and I think that's the
Every
key.
day.
Every day. So if
'Cause
you
like
see
you
it
said,
that
you
way,
start, I mean, it's not that you don't look externally for inspiration, and you've got to
Yeah.
have competition to
Yeah.
keen you on, but it's not, oh, can I beat so and so? It's, can I improve myself today?
Correct.
Being inspired by everyone
right,
else.
and being surrounded by people who
Much
are
more
doing things
healthy.
faster and better, that allows for you to strive for that, you know, because it's possible. And let's
And
get
you can
better.
be ultimately competitive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be competitive. I'm just
course.
saying
Of course.
do it in a healthy way.
That's right. All right, food for thought. That was a very
I
long
have one request
segue.
to the audience. Maybe people will know. So we have the ivy here, and I don't want ivy growing into the house and into the tree, but I like this Santa Barbara daisy. So I'm wondering if anyone knows if it's okay if that grows, because it seems to be really good and easy to knock back. So
All right. Tell us if it is. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.